Thank you for making time to watch this short video presentation about foot and mouth disease. The impact of this rapidly spreading animal disease on the U.S. beef industry could be devastating. This video will describe how foot and mouth disease, or FMD, is spread between animals, the types of regulatory actions that might be taken during an outbreak, how you can protect your operation, and even request a movement permit during an outbreak through the Secure Beef Supply Plan. Foot and mouth disease, while harmless to people, causes blisters in animals with cloven hooves, such as cattle, pigs, sheep, and goats. It is the most contagious disease of livestock. However, it is not a public health or food safety concern. There is no treatment for FMD. Historically, control involved quarantining herds, testing animals, and depopulating positive herds and adjacent herds. The 2001 foot and mouth disease outbreak in the United Kingdom demonstrated what can happen when this very contagious animal disease is introduced into an FMD-free country. An estimated 10 million animals were slaughtered from about 2,000 farms. Many animals were slaughtered, not because they were infected, but as a precaution because they were close to infected herds. Total economic losses are estimated at approximately $13 billion US. There was also an exceptionally high rate of suicides for both affected producers and people participating in the depopulation. Next, we will watch an excerpt from ABC that demonstrates the personal cost that many British livestock producers experienced.
In this little town called Hatherley, there are not many tourists anymore. But 5.5 months after the worst animal slaughter in England's history, there are subtle signs of recovery. It is not easy for Peter Walters to come to this part of his farm. All of his animals are buried here: 150 cows, 300 sheep, 400 baby lambs. They are just a fraction of the 3.7 million animals destroyed across England, but they were his.
I care about the animals.
When we last visited Peter Walters 5 months ago, the British government had just completed its deadly work here.
They're not destroying me. No way.
They told him he could not leave his farm for a week. The pain was still fresh.
Could foot and mouth disease occur in the United States? It already has. Since 1900, there have been 6 U.S. outbreaks, the largest in 1914 when the virus gained entry into the Chicago stockyards. The most recent outbreaks were in California in 1924 and 1929. Foot and mouth disease would spread much faster today because cattle, feed, and products move much more quickly than they did in the early 1900s. Computer modeling by the University of California estimates that if foot and mouth were introduced today, every hour it went undetected would ultimately cost responding agencies and the industry $565 million in lost product, destroyed cattle, and depopulation costs. Given the destruction and despair faced in the UK during their 2001 outbreak, and how other outbreaks have been handled around the world, the United States has other disease management strategies besides just massive depopulation. In a small outbreak, depopulation is one approach to stop the spread of the disease. However, in a large, widespread outbreak affecting many herds in many states, vaccination is another disease control tool being considered by USDA. More information about FMD vaccination is covered in more detail in another video. There are actually more countries in the world with foot and mouth disease than are free of it. The countries shown here in gray and red serve as a reservoir for FMD, sporadically causing disease outbreaks in previously free areas shown in green. Some major outbreaks in previously free countries include a second United Kingdom outbreak in 2007 and separate outbreaks in 2010 in South Korea and Japan. So, what does foot and mouth disease look like in cattle? As the name suggests, the virus causes blisters in the mouth and on the tongue. These blisters can break open, leaving painful ulcers. In advanced cases, much of the mucous membranes can slough, leaving large exposed areas. Cattle with mouth lesions will drool and not want to eat. FMD virus also causes blisters, ulcers, and sloughing of the skin of the feet, especially between the claws and where the skin meets the hooves. Cattle will be lame and not want to walk to eat. This results in poor growth and performance. How is foot and mouth disease virus spread to healthy cattle? Infected cattle can spread the disease through saliva, breath, or the fluid from blisters on the mouth, feet, or teats. This type of direct transfer can occur across a fence line within a herd or across a fence line with a neighboring herd. The virus is also found in the urine and manure of infected cattle, in their milk, even in bull semen, including frozen semen. Almost any bodily fluid from infected cattle can infect other animals. An important thing to know about FMD is that normal appearing cattle can spread the disease, shedding the virus in bodily fluids 2 to 4 days before clinical signs appear. This makes biosecurity critical during a foot and mouth disease outbreak. FMD virus is very contagious and can be carried from an infected farm on equipment to an uninfected farm. The virus can also be carried on footwear and clothing and on vehicles shared between farms. Now that you know how the virus can be spread, you might be wondering, can I use this information to protect my cattle during an outbreak? In the 2001 FMD outbreak in the United Kingdom, farms practicing good biosecurity procedures were 5 times less likely to become infected. Prepare to protect your cattle in an outbreak by writing an enhanced biosecurity plan today. Templates are available on the Secure Beef Supply website, which is discussed in more detail soon. Another way to protect your cattle in an FMD outbreak is by stopping all animal movements for a period of time. During a foot and mouth disease outbreak, control areas will be established by regulatory officials to limit disease spread. In these control areas, movement of animals and animal products would be restricted by stop movement or quarantine orders. This would include all cattle movements for a period of time. Recognizing prolonged movement restrictions would be devastating to the U.S. beef industry, the USDA has funded the development of the Secure Beef Supply Plan. The SBS plan provides guidance criteria for an operation with no evidence of FMD infection to move cattle between premises and to packing plants once movements are restarted. It is the result of years of collaboration between the beef industry, universities, states, and USDA. Participation is voluntary. The SBS plan also provides resources for biosecurity and disease monitoring. The full plan can be found on the Secure Beef Supply website at securebeef.org. More information about the Secure Beef Supply Plan is available in another video. The securebeef.org website also has many resources for developing biosecurity plans, including the templates shown earlier. There are also pictures, videos, and handouts to recognize signs of FMD. Talk with your state animal health official about participating in this Secure Beef Supply Plan. The Secure Beef Supply Plan was funded by USDA. This video was written and produced by the Center for Food Security and Public Health at Iowa State University, College of Veterinary Medicine, with contributions from the Western Institute for Food Safety and Security at the University of California, Davis.